Hey y'all, Blue here, and today I'm back talking about more Layer 2 features that have been added in this update. This time we're focusing on echoes, which are a new currency you can attain every time you wipe. However, the amount of echoes depends largely on how much you progress the build that wipes. For example, a maxed out build with Residence will get much more echoes from, say, a freshie dying. There are many different factors that can affect echo gain as well, such as getting an oath, murmur, and previously said, getting a bell. All contribute to getting echoes with a fixed amount being awarded for when you complete these certain tasks. Plain and simple, just play the game if you want your character to earn a bunch of echoes when it eventually wipes. Why are these echoes important, you hacks? Well, let me tell ya. You see, having enough of these echoes, you can purchase a permanent upgrade for your future slots. These upgrades range from being able to start with more money, all the way to being able to get your bell faster. And these upgrades do stack as you continuously buy them across builds. However, one thing I'm still unsure of is if the upgrades convert to your current builds. It's extremely hard to test since these upgrades don't really become noticeable until you buy a bunch of them. As far as my knowledge goes, they do not have a certain cap, or if they do, it hasn't been reached yet. Hey, Future Blue here. During the making of this video, the wiki has changed and I have figured out for myself that there is a cap on every single upgrade, which is you can only upgrade an upgrade 4 times. Quite boring, but I guess to stop the little rats like me who would grind for 100% faster belt progression. Anyways, let's get on to the fastest method to get these echoes. First, you want to load up a new slot, of course, and don't get too attached to it because by the end, you're gonna be fucking dead. So by this account, these customizable tabs are irrelevant. Future Blue here one more time. The races do matter a little bit due to the points they give. Grimoire and Dread are probably the best for this method. We go to your starting weapon, where you should pick the weapon you're best with. For me, that's a sword, so that's what I pick, of course. Then we have your attunement. This is largely unimportant, beside it being essential that you do not pick non-attunement. I'll explain why later, but you have to pick a proper attunement, so I pick a Frost Draw. Next we have attributes, which could get a little iffy with the different core race benefits, but as long as you have agility as the most invested attribute, then put the rest into fortitude, you should be good. This will also be explained later on. For boons and flaws, have autodidact and maverick. Flaws don't matter besides fugitive, do not have fugitive. Then origins, which you have to pick Minitrisa as your origin, which is of course Trial of 1. If you haven't beat Trial of 1, I suggest you learn how to. Not the best advice, but the only advice I can give. Lastly, we obviously have echoes. Once you get to the tab, click modifiers, and essentially these modifiers work as multipliers to the total echo gain after you die. Everyone starts with a base of 1. Each time you add one of these modifiers, it adds to the base, so you want to do all of them. Go through and enable them on. By the time you do all, you should have 2.6. If you don't, you probably missed one and should go back and look over. Quick side note as well, none of these modifiers actually seriously hurt you for this method, besides the Fragile Heart, which can make trial considerably harder. So if you're one of the ones that struggle with trial, it's best to keep it disabled with the rest on. Also, last note before you start, to get maximum output of echoes per hour, you need another account. Either this can be a friend or a bank ult, but you need to have another character and they need to be at Fort Merit. Now that you have everything set up, you can finally start. Once you load in, immediately equip your ankle bracelet that you get from agility. Then you can go through the first trial as normal. You want to invest first into agility. Also, when you invest into agility, your bracelet gets taken off, so remember to put it back on each time. Also, real quick before I fast forward this part here, for your cards you want to pick the cards that help you survive. So mainly the cards that give health, and for traits pick either vitality or proficiency to make things easier for you. Alright, so by the time you reach the threshold, you should have 35 points into agility, not including the race points, and during the fight you would have gotten a level from the bracelet, placing you at 36. Here is where you're gonna start investing into fortitude all the way to the cap. I'll fast forward around here since you go about trial as normal until the end of trial. By the time you get to this point, fortitude should be max, and then you can put the rest of your points into agility. And then that's the trial part done. Once you load out trial, immediately put on your bracelet again as you're approaching level 8. This is why I said not to get non-attunement, because instead of 1 investment point left, it would be 11, due to the points glitching out with the free points you get from non-attunement. So, you want to make the run, dodge your Minatrisa guards, and by the time you make it far enough, you should level up. The cards don't matter of course, but what we're looking for is mushrooms to make some soup. Crafting food is a new echo quest that got added today. The elephantos spawn in this little corner cliffside, and the brown caps spawn next to this tree by the leaning log. Alright, as you can see in the footage, I cannot level up my agility no more. What we're going to do is talk to this gentleman up here, and he will give us a quest to complete, which is to collect a book from the basement. But first we have to stop by this campfire to make our mushroom soup. This is a permanent campfire from the game, so it will always be here. Also in the part, I forgot to use my autodidact points, but be sure to use it for agility. Anyways, I make it to the Trial 1 basement, where the book can be found right here in this corner. Once we pick it up and make the run again, we return it back to him where we get rewarded with EXP. Spam your bracelet till you can't no more, and by this point you should have 47 or 48, or possibly even 50 if you have a race that gives agility. So now you want to head up and get your Jet Tracker Oath. By the time you make it up there, with all the running, you should have leveled up to be able to get it with 50 points. If not, just run in circles or fight something for EXP. If you don't know how to get this oath, basically he will challenge you to a race, and you have to beat him to this point that is marked in yellow. Once you make it, stand in the yellow beam and wait until he comes to you. Then he will talk to you where he will give you the oath. That completes this part. If you do not have an alternative account, skip to the time that's showing on the screen. If you do for the full method, continue on with the video. Alright, so we make our way to the dock where we spawn in our boat and head into the direction of the Songseeker Gate. Once you load into the Eastern Luminant, you can open multi-Roblox, or I use Windows Roblox app to spawn in my bank alt that is waiting for me at Fort Merritt. So make your way to the shore of Songseeker and recall your boat. Then on your alternative account, spawn your boat at Fort Merritt. As you can already tell, we're going to Bass Travel. You don't necessarily need an alternative account, but it saves a lot of time. When everything is set up, you can begin resetting. When the timer is out, you should automatically spawn at your alt's boat. If you don't, there might be a pop-up where you would select spawn at ship. So from here, you want to head up to Fort Merritt using the jump pads and make your way into the prison. Once you do that, we're going to go unbound our fortitude by dropping the soap around Brutus. After getting pounded, we'll come in his hole that's there and make our way in. It's quite tight, so we'll use protection. It will be protected. Once you come out, there will be a shrine to your right. This is another way of getting echoes that was added into the game, which is just buying whatever they're selling with your knowledge points. Just spam 1, and now we can finally die. You'll find the nearest NPC and have him kill you. Thanks to the modifiers, we instantly get sent to the depths, making this faster. Once you spawn in, find the void and jump in. Doing this will of course bring you to layer 2, which is, I'll say, the hardest part of this method. It's all time based, where you're trying to get the rhythm murmur as fast as you can before the parasites eat you out. No pause needed. So watch the footage and do exactly what I do. Immediately turn around and head up this cliff to your left, then jump this little gap. Keep going and you'll find a key to open the gate. Now make your way back to that gate and open it. Now for this part, go straight until you see this arch, where you want to make a right and climb the beams to this ladder. Climb both ladders, wait for the wind so you don't get blown away while jumping the gap, and then slide your way all the way down as you continue straight. Another blizzard blast will hit while you're going up, so be careful of that. Once you make it up, turn to the left a bit where you see a broken bridge. Safely cross it, keeping that monster that usually spawns by turning right. Here you want to hug the wall as you make your way down. Once you get there, you'll see a guy that... Are you fucking serious? Alright! Once you get to the guy, talk to him where he'll ask you to select the hole with the lowest pitch coming out. Signal by a visual flash. He'll ask you 3 times to do this. Also, for those of you without brains, pitch is not the same as volume. Just because it sounds quiet doesn't mean it has a lower pitch. Listen for the one that sounds the deepest. Once you do it, you'll be rewarded with the rhythm murmur, if you haven't died yet, of course. And yeah, I did a lot of heavy thinking for this method, so as far as I think, this is the best method for echoes per hour, as you can probably go through 2 of these runs within an hour. So if you found this video helpful, please do subscribe and like, as I went through hell and back to make this video. Anyways, y'all have a good day.